So guys, the Pacific update for Battlefield 5 has been out for a few days now, and one of the new chapter awards we've got to unlock is this gun right here, the Jungle Carbine. And look, medic carbines are always a bit hit and miss, so the question is this one actually worth the grind? Well guys, this is BillyEatWorld again, and let's find out. Alright, so to kick off, what is the Jungle Carbine? Well, funnily enough, it's a lot like the Lee Enfield No. 4 that's already available for the Recon kit. In fact, this one is actually called the Lee Enfield No. 5 Mark I in real life, and it's literally the same basic gun, just redesigned to be shorter and lighter. It was first produced in 1944, and all up around 250,000 were made and fielded by the UK and a bunch of other Commonwealth nations. And although it was originally designed to be used by paratroopers in Europe, it mainly saw service in the Pacific, which is how it ended up getting the nickname Jungle Carbine, and it's probably why it's only just being added to the game now. Now, in real life, compared to the Enfield No. 4, and I'm sure people are going to argue with me here, but like I said, it's basically the same gun, just shorter and lighter. For example, it fires the same British 303 rounds, it's got the same 10 rounds internal magazine, and it loads from the same strip of clips. The main difference though is that because it was lighter, the recoil was heavier, and because it was shorter, it had a much more noticeable muzzle flash. So the solution that the British came up with at the time was to add a rubber buttstock to make it less painful to shoot, and a flash suppressor to help deal with the flash, which arguably, as a trade-off, made it a little bit less accurate. Now, with that being said, well, I should mention here that the in-game Jungle Carbine is a bolt-action carbine on the medic kit, so as you can imagine, it's probably not quite as similar to the No. 4, and the main difference statistically is that it only deals 56 damage out to 75 meters, dropping off to 40 at 100 meters, which translates into basically a 2 to 3 shot kill max, or a 1-hit kill if you land a headshot under 75 meters. It's also got a slightly faster base rate of fire of 83 RPM, upgradable to 99 RPM, but surprisingly it's still got the same bullet velocity of 500 meters per second. And unlike the No. 4, that's actually upgradable to 570 meters per second, so realistically if you're sticking to under 75 meters range, that's probably actually going to make it slightly more effective at getting those one-hit kill headshots. The real big selling point of this gun though is the fact that being a bolt-action carbine, you can cycle the bolt while zoomed in and using a scope, whereas the regular Enfield can only do this using iron sights, which, don't get me wrong, is pretty fun and pretty decent, but obviously makes it much harder to land headshots when you really need to. Speaking of scopes, well, obviously because it's a medic carbine, you can't unlock the Recon long-range scopes with this one, but realistically 3 times is all you're gonna need anyway. And honestly, that's what I tend to use on the regular Recon Enfield as well. Neither of these guns are really that great at long-range sniping, so all the big scope does is tempt you to take shots that you can't really hit. So bearing all of that in mind, that probably means you're going to want to pick specializations that improve your close range stats first. And so I'd really recommend for most players that you run all the way down the left-hand side of the tree and make sure you grab the velocity, RPM, and reload speed options. If for some reason you do want to try and make this gun slightly more accurate though, I'm not sure why you would, but you might want to grab some of these stock options over on the middle of the right-hand side. But as you can see here, I'd still probably make sure to grab the muzzle velocity and the reload buffs, because honestly, they're really just too good to do without. But anyway, just to finish up, as for my final thoughts on the Jungle Carbine, well, clearly, as you can see from some of the clips in this video, it's capable of doing some pretty insane things. It's not a DMR and it's not a bolt action, but it's definitely somewhere in between. And if you can stay within that 50 to 75 meter sweet spot, it'll really give you the best of both worlds. Not just that, but it's really hands down better than any of the other medic carbine options because of the 10-round mag. You don't have to feel so bad about spamming the trigger like you would with some of the other guns. And look, it's still not the easiest gun to use, but honestly, and this surprised me as well, once you finally do learn how to use it, I actually think it's probably the best of the 5 new guns we've seen so far in the new Pacific update. But anyway, guys, that just about wraps it up for this review of the Jungle Carbine. So as always, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. What do you think of this gun? Do you think it's a good gun? Do you even like the medic carbines? Let me know what you think. I really don't use these guns, so you'll have to let me know what you think down below. As always, though, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and please feel free to check out the links in the description if you want to see any more of these videos. And also, don't forget you can find my Twitter and Discord links down there as well if you want to keep in touch. And as always, until next time, see you later, and have a good one.